it's going. So
Is it good?
yeah.
So it's charging.
So
It's gonna go. So I have it on, so it's charging.
okay.
It's
You
good.
just want to check every few innings.
Yeah, if you can just shoot me a text, okay?
Okay.
Like tell me if it's not working, I can come on.
Okay.
Cool. You guys need anything?
We're good.
Okay. Sure.
We appreciate it.
Positive.
Yeah.
Hey, no dipping.
Taking it out now that I'm going to talk.
No more. Alright, see you guys.
Adios.
Okay.
And welcome to Mulcahy Stadium. I am Andrew Alex alongside Garrett Mansfield. Apologies for getting on late, but in the top of the first inning, the Chinooks went down 1-2-3. So the first batter that Connor Menez will be facing tonight on the Glacier Pilots will be Luke Hamlin, the center fielder. The first pitch to Hamlin in there for a called strike one. Connor Menez, the pitcher out of the Masters College. Menez's 0-1 pitch he deals. That's fouled back at the plate, and Menez ahead in the count 0-2. Menez, of course, the all-GSAC pitcher this year, posting a sub-2 ERA, the pitch, and that's grounded to the second baseman, Will Bass. Will Bass makes to the grounder to the throw to Staudinger in time for the first out of the inning. So one up, one down for Connor Menez, and now he'll face Abelderto Carrillo, the second baseman out of the University of Southern California. Coming into today's game, Carrillo was among the Pilots' leaders in batting average. Menez, the windup, the pitch, and Carrillo fouls that one back right over the press box. The count 0-1. The 0-1 from Connor Menez. In the dirt, scooped up by Andrew Mogg, the count 1-1. In Menez's last outing against the Gold Panners, he pitched 6 hitless innings, ended up taking a no decision. Menez's pitch there fouled off down the right field line, foul. So the count stands at 1-2. But the Chinooks, riding a 7-game winning streak. The 1-2 pitch. And that's grounded right back to Connor Menez. He's going to make the throw to Staudinger himself in time for the second out of the inning. So 2 batters faced, 2 batters out for Connor Menez here. So the batter will be the right fielder, Johnny Loker, out of Stanford. The first pitch to Loker. In there for a called strike one. The Glacier Pilots last night defeating the Matsu Miners by a score of 5-1. The pitch from Menez fouled back right into the screen, and quickly Connor Menez ahead 0-2 on Johnny Loker. The 0-2 pitch from Connor Menez taken low outside ball one, the count 1-2. Connor Menez, the 6'3 lefty out of the Masters College. The 1-2 pitch. In there for a called strike three, side retired. So the Glacier Pilots go down 1-2-3 to the likes of Connor Menez in the bottom of the first inning. So after one inning, we are all tied up at 0. We'll be right back with the top of the second. You are listening to Chinooks Radio. So we are back here from Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska. Andrew Alex here. As the Chinooks come up to bat in the top of the second inning, the first batter is Andrew Mogg, the catcher out of Virginia Tech. The first pitch to Andrew Mogg is grounded to the third baseman. The throw to the first in time. So it took just one pitch for Pilots pitcher Matt Dennis to retire Andrew Mogg on the 5-3 ground out. So now the batter will be Michael Staudinger. Staudinger out of Azusa Pacific playing first base tonight. Probably the hottest of all the Chinooks hitters in the series in Fairbanks. The first pitch to Michael Staudinger taken right on the corner for a called strike one. So they count 0-1 on Michael Staudinger. The 0-1 pitch to Staudinger taken low and outside ball one, evens out the count at 1-1. But Staudinger, an impressive freshman season at Azusa Pacific. The 1-1. And Staudinger grounds that one to the third baseman. The throw to first. In time. Staudinger almost beating that out one on the lazy ground ball. The third baseman, Aboites out of Arizona State, really had to come in for that one, make a throw on the move, but it was in time. So the first 5 Chinooks have been retired in order. And now the batter, Caden Owens. Owens out of Oral Roberts. Did not play in yesterday's contest against the Anchorage Bucks. The first pitch to Owens is grounded to the shortstop. The throw to first. In time. Owens almost beating him out there, but just enough on the throw from Kyle Watson, the Pilot shortstop. So 6 up, 6 down through 2 innings for Matt Dennis, the pitcher for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. And after a very, very quick inning, it'll be Connor Menez coming out for a second inning of work for the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. And once again, we apologize for the technical difficulties, a little delay on the broadcast. Unfortunately, there was some errors in terms of internet connectivity here at Mulcahy Field, a little disconnect between the people with the Anchorage Glacier Pilots and their Wi-Fi provider. But luckily, through the magic of the Alaska Baseball League, we are on the air regardless in this game. As we head into the bottom of the second inning, the score still 0-0 as the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks try to win their 8th game in a row.
And it's been some magic, Andrew, as we get going in 7 straight wins, tying for second, or actually first place in the ABL's National League Division. And the Miners off tonight, so a win would, give the Chinooks sole possession of first place.
Exactly. A big game early in the season here for the Chinooks, but now the batter will be J.J. Wagner. The first pitch to J.J. Wagner fouled right back into the screen. Wagner playing left field this evening. So the 0-1 pitch from Connor Menez on its way, the pitch, and that is fouled right down the right field line, out of play. So once again, Connor Menez ahead 0-2 in the count. Against another Anchorage Glacier Pilots, he put them down 1-2-3 in the top of the first. The 0-2. In there for called strike 3. J.J. Wagner, the second strikeout victim for Connor Menez, and he took him out on just three pitches.
Connor Menez looking very sharp already here in the second inning. They had a quick first and now down 4 straight from the get-go. And Menez trying to better a team with a 2.14 ERA coming into play today.
So the batter now, Jack Lebowski. Lebowski, the first baseman out of Duke University. The first pitch to Lebowski was taken on the outside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Menez, and that is popped up. Fly ball into foul ground. And that is out of play, so the count 1-1 to Lebowski. And Garrett, I would not be surprised if he has never earned the nickname the Big Lebowski before.
Well, there's no W in that last name. It's just Lebowski.
Ah.
A little bit of a pronunciation there.
Jack Lebowski, then. I guess I pronounce things how
How you hope they are.
Yeah, you hope they are. Precisely, Garrett. All right, so the 2-1 count here to Jack Lebowski. And the pitch on its way. And that is fouled right into the plate back. So 2-2 to the first baseman out of Duke University. But like Garrett said, an incredibly important game in the early part of the season here. The 2-2 pitch. And that is swung on and missed. But it looks like on the drop third strike rule, as the ball slipped by Andrew Mogg. Jack Lebowski will advance to first base. So a swinging strikeout for Jack Lebowski, but advancing to first base on the drop third strike. So the first base runner of the game for the Glacier Pilots. And now Kyle Watson, the batter. The first pitch to Kyle Watson, taken outside, ball 1. Andrew Mogg quickly there to scoop up that ball. And the pitch. Taken in there for a called strike. Watson out of Ole Miss, the University of Mississippi. The 1-1 pitch. Lebowski goes. And they're calling batter's interference there from the fans, but no call from the umpire. So Jack Lebowski in there with the steal after a swinging strike from shortstop Kyle Watson. So a man on second. 1 out here. Connor Menez already in a little bit of trouble without even letting up a hit. But the count 1-2 to Kyle Watson. Menez looks back to second. The pitch in there for a called strike 3. And already the 4th strikeout of the game for Connor Menez.
Second of the inning. Actually the third of the inning, despite just 2 outs on the board.
So now the batter, Gunnar Troutwine, the catcher out of Wichita State University. So time is called as the pilots convene as to what the situation is. Standing at second, Jack Lebowski. The first pitch into Gunnar Troutwine, taken for a ball inside. So the count is 1-0 to Gunnar Troutwine. The pitch inside again, ball 2. So 2-0 count. 6 up, 6 down for Connor Menez. 4 strikeouts on the day. 3 of them, he got the batter looking. So the 2-0 count. Lebowski takes his lead. And Menez immediately looks back at him, checks him. Trying to keep his Chinooks ahead tied in this game, despite not letting up a hit yet. And Gunnar Troutwine fouls the 2-0 pitch right back at the plate, so the count 2-1. Menez so far on the day, 4-3, 1-3. Strikeout, looking, strikeout, swinging. With the advance on the called third strike, and then strikeout looking again. So an impressive frame so far from Connor Menez, yet still in a little bit of trouble. The pitch, and that is fouled back deep. Out of play down the right field line. So now the count's evened up at 2-2. And Connor Menez trying to have the anomaly of perhaps a 4-strikeout inning here in the bottom of the second with the score tied 0-0, 2 strikes, 2 balls, 2 outs. And the pitch taken on the lower inside corner, ball 3. So the full count here on Gunnar Troutwine, the catcher out of Wichita State University. He is a shocker. Full count, sets, delivers. And that is grounded on the third base line. Patrick Cromwell fields the ball, but no throw from Cromwell as he had to dive into the dirt to make that deep in the infield. So Lebowski will advance to first. Lebowski will advance to third, and Gunnar Troutwine stands at first with the first hit of the day for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. So now runners on first and third. 2 outs here. The pitch from Connor Menez taken low and outside, ball 1. Alex Tuccio, the designated hitter out of Siena. Siena is a university in New York State. And the 1-0 from Connor Menez is taken for a ball.
You know, Andrew, getting a look at some of this, the Miners offense, or the Pilots offense a little bit. Just a $178 as a team, and they struck out 83 times.
And the pickoff move. And Gunnar Troutwine tagged out at second to end the inning. So Connor Menez with the quick pickoff on the big lead from Gunnar Troutwine. And at the end of 2, the score still 0-0. Connor Menez with 4 strikeouts on the day. You are listening to Chinooks Radio. We will be right back here with you. So we head into the top of the third inning. Leading off will be Braxton Wilkes. Braxton Wilkes, the left fielder out of McLennan Community College, has been used mostly so far this season as a pitcher. The first pitch to Wilkes, taken on the inside, he shows bunt. But the Chinooks have been retired in order for the first 6 batters of today's game. The 1-0 pitch, fouled back right into the screen. The count 1-1 now. The pitch, and that is popped up into foul ground. The third baseman, Carrillo, watches it sail into the stands. So now the count 1-2 on Braxton Wilkes. The Chinooks still looking for their first hit of the evening against Matt Dennis. The pitch taken up high. The count evens up at 2-2. But we are in the top of the third inning here. The Chinooks 0 runs, 0 hits. The Pilot 0 runs on 1 hit. And the 2-2 pitch fouled back right into the screen from Braxton Wilkes. So we're going to do 2-2 all over again. And the 2-2. And that's fouled off right into the Chinooks dugout. So Braxton Wilkes staying alive in this at-bat. Wilkes so far on the season from the plate is 3 for 13. That puts him at a .231 batting average. No extra base hits, 2 strikeouts. And Wilkes fouls that one off yet again. So Braxton Wilkes doing an excellent job here of working Matt Dennis's pitch count, something the Chinooks had not done very well. The pitcher, Matt Dennis, already with 2 strikeouts on the day. The 2-2 pitch to Braxton Wilkes is taken on the outside. A curveball just missed the strike zone. So now the count is full here on Braxton Wilkes. But Wilkes has really impressed us from the pitcher's mound so far this season. The 3-2 pitch to Braxton Wilkes swung on and missed. Strike 3, so the first out of the top of the third. A strikeout from Braxton Wilkes, and that'll be the 3rd of the day for Pilots pitcher Matt Dennis. So now the batter, Hunter Hanks. Hanks on the season batting 241, 4 RBIs, but has really come into his own as of late. But Hanks takes the first pitch, a called strike right down the middle, the count 0-1. Dennis sets the 0-1. Up high, almost chin music there. The count 1-1. Hanks has been an everyday starter at shortstop for the Chinooks. His defense impeccable. And Hanks fouls the 1-1 from Matt Dennis right back into the screen, so he's behind in the count 1-2. The pitch in there for a called strike 3. So 8 have come to face Matt Dennis this afternoon, and 8 have sat down immediately afterwards.
Very similar to the start offensively last night when all 8 were retired before Patrick Cromwell came up and walked.
And speaking of Patrick Cromwell, here he is batting in the 9 hole, the third baseman, and the first pitch to Cromwell fouled right back into the screen, the count 0-1. And many may remember that last time we faced the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, Lucas Hamelink took a no-hitter, 5 innings, and then the pitch to Patrick Cromwell, a fly ball into center field. Under it is the center fielder to make the grab. So at the end of, or in the middle of the third inning, the Chinooks still yet to muster up a hit. The score 0-0. And Connor Menez coming out for another inning of work here. Menez so far on the day. Four strikeouts, 3 of them looking. Actually struck out 3 batters in the last inning, but surrendered a hit to Gunnar Troutwine, who was eventually called out on the steal attempt, the pickoff move from Menez. Proof of his high baseball IQ. But Connor Menez, one of the Chinooks' many starting pitchers that have proven that they have ace potential here this season. But the Chinooks out there in their red uniforms, rocking their Digi Camo hats for what will be the 8th consecutive game. The first 7 games that they have played in the Digi Camo lids, all victories. So Alex Tuccio back up to the plate. His first time that he stepped in there. The at-bat was not completed because of Gunnar Troutwine getting picked off on his way to second. The first pitch to Alex Tuccio taken on the outside, low, ball 1. And here comes the 1-0 pitch from Menez. Taken low again, ball 2. And the only ailment that's really been an issue so far on the season for Menez has been control. He's not allowing a lot of hits in any of his outings. The pitch to Tuccio, grounded to the third baseman, Patrick Cromwell. Cromwell's throw to Staudinger in time to make the out. So the first out of the inning made of a ground out from Alex Tuccio. 1 down here in the top of the third, and
in fact, only 7 hits from Connor Menez through 11 1/3 innings of work before playing today. So you can extend that one. About 7 hits on 13 innings. So it takes him about 2 innings almost to record a base hit.
And the first pitch to Jordan Aboitis, the grounded to shortstop, the throw from Hunter Hanks to Michael Staudinger in time. So it took just 1 pitch for Jordan Aboitis to jump at a fastball from Connor Menez, a ground out to the shortstop Hunter Hanks. So 2 up, 2 down here in the third inning. And the batter will be Luke Hamblin. The first time Hamblin stepped up to the plate, he grounded out to the second baseman Will Bass. The first pitch to Luke Hamlin in there for a called strike. Luke Hamlin out of the University of Central Florida, one of a couple Central Florida Knights playing in the league this year. And the pitch to Hamlin is popped up fly ball right into center field. Under it to make the grab is Cam Baronic's side retired. So, at the end of the third inning, a scoreless game here at Mulcahy Stadium between the Glacier Pilots and the Chinooks. The only hit of the day, an infield single from Gunnar Troutwine. We will be right back here with you for the top of the fourth inning. You are listening to Chinooks Radio.
Last night's hero, Cameron Baronic, to the plate for the Chinooks. In the top of inning number 4, a scoreless ball game between the Chinooks and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Glacier Pilots playing minor slayers the last couple of nights, as that ball is taken in there from Baronic for strike number 1. And the Chinooks are trying to get their better of the Pilots this evening to take first place in the National League before seeing the minors tomorrow. 0-1 from Matt Dennis is outside, a ball and a strike each now. Sunny and 66 degrees. The cottonwood flying around Mulcahy Field yet again. Wind blowing out towards left field just enough to move the flags, but that's it. 1-1 to Baronic outside makes it 2-1. Baronic, after last night's heroic effort in the 13th inning, which he drove in 3 runs on a bases-loaded triple, is now hitting .250 with 6 RBIs, the team lead. Outside, the pitch from Matt Dennis, 3-1. And Baronic becoming a staple at the top of the order for the Chinooks. They had one last year in Stephen Pollux, and Baronic keeping that one intact. That's popped up behind the plate, but it'll go foul behind the first base line. And clunk the top of the scored box behind us. Makes the count full. Baronic striking out his first time to the plate. 4 strikeouts for Matt Dennis to begin this ball game as we are in the 4th. The 3-2 to Baronic, swinging a miss, and Baronic down swinging for the second time tonight. And Connor Menez on the other side with 4 of his own. So pitching at a premium so far early this evening. Only game in the Alaska Baseball League going on tonight is right here. So no scoreboards to really update you on. And Matt Ferruto, a fly out to left field, his first time to the plate. And he delivers that ball low for ball 1 from Matt Dennis. Matt Dennis, 6'2", 210 from Bradley. Here's the 1-0 to Ferruto. Waves at that one. Goes down a ball and a strike each with 1 gone. Dennis from Arlington Heights, Illinois. Second team All-Missouri Valley Conference this past year with Bradley. Here's the 1-1. Low and caught the zone, actually. Makes it 1-2 on Ferruto. But he was 3-0, a 1.51 ERA over 47 innings, striking out 45. Also picked up 12 saves. Ferruto bangs that one up the middle, right at the second baseman, Carrillo, and he comes up with it and throws out Ferrito for the second out of the inning. So the Chinooks still hitless after now 11 batters to the plate, and now Will Bass with a chance to change that one. So Matt Dennis, his dad actually played baseball at Duquesne. His grandfather, a AAA player with the Pittsburgh Pirates before calling it a career. But Will Bass fouls off the first pitch he sees. So Bass had a big night yesterday as well. Picked up a couple of RBIs with 2 base hits as well. He waves at the 0-1. Bass a sacrifice fly in the 6th last night with a double and a single, 2 RBIs total. Here's the 0-2 from Dennis, swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Matt Dennis, and he's pitching a whale of a game to start off this one at Mulcahy Field. So, middle of the 4th, just 1 base hit in this ball game. We started at 7:10. Actually, first pitch was closer to 7:12, so a little under 40 minutes. We're halfway through the 4th. And quite the game from Matt Dennis and Connor Menez on the other end of this thing for the Chinooks. But right now, that gives us an opportunity to recognize our host family of the night. Without their help, the Chinooks and their team would not be able to do what they do, traveling around South Central Alaska and housing and feeding players that come from all around. And tonight's host family of the night will be the Walkers, housing Patrick Cromwell and Cameron Boronic, the couple of Santa Ana kids, and in Eagle River. So we thank the Walkers and everything that they do for our players. Also a reminder, you can stay in touch with the Chinooks all season long. Just visit the team's official website, www.cerchinooks.com, for everything Chinooks, the team's schedule, the roster, photographs of the players, history of AIA baseball in Alaska. And if you're on Facebook, give the team a like, the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks on Facebook, and then follow them on Twitter at CER Chinooks, and then our live broadcasting video stream on YouTube. And you can add us to your circle on Google+, the Chinooks radio team, and then tune in with us there, or you can just go to CERChinooks.com and click the Listen Live at the bottom right of the page.
If you're interested in my life, follow me on Twitter at GingerKing1. And, of course, the man at Garrett Mansfield. Of course, we mostly just retweet anything that would be relevant to the Chinooks on the regular Twitter account.
To the bottom of the 4th we go, and Alberto Carrillo fouls off the first pitch he sees from Connor Menez. Carrillo hitting .219, a couple of RBIs, striking out 7 times, but that's the beat of the drum for the Glacier Pilots. Not all that well of a hitting team, up and away from Menez. Of course, they've seen stellar pitching from the Matsu Miners, playing them a lot lately as well. The Chinooks continuing it. Carrillo fouls that one off from Menez to the right side and out of play. Carrillo out of USC, facing Connor Menez right here. From the Masters College, the 1-2. Inside corner called strike 3.
And Menez has just been on fire so far this game, Garrett.
And both pitchers really have worked very well, very efficiently. 6 strikeouts for Matt Dennis, now 5 for Menez, with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th to face Johnny Loker. Loker hitting a $150 coming into play today, struck out his first time up, takes that pitch high and wide, ball 1 from Connor Menez. Johnny Loker, if you remember the name, played with the Glacier Pilots, or not the Glacier Pilots, but the Matsu Miners, that is, last summer. The 1-0 is in there. Ruled a strike. Loker will be a senior at Stanford next year. He was 358, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs with the minors last summer. Coming back to Alaska now with the Glacier Pilots. Menez's 1-1 is downstairs 2-1. And Loker with a walk-off grand slam, his first ABL game a year ago. He got here late. There's the 2-1 from Menez. It's in the zone. Between Johnny Loker, Cameron Newell, the Matsu Miners had the Chinooks number about all season long. The 2-2 just a bit low from Connor Menez.
Hoping to turn that around this year, Gare. The Matsu Miners and the Chinooks competing up in first place very early in the season, but you pick up 7 wins in the first 9 games in a 40-game year. It's a good sign.
Payoff pitch splinters the bat in about 10 different pieces. It's fouled off towards the first base side, towards the Pilots' dugout. Connor Menez, Darren Westergaard, and our home plate umpire are going to pick up what's left of that one. Just shards at this point. And that's the danger of wood bats. And, that might be one of the things coming from the Glacier Pilots, and it could be a big reason why they're only hitting 178, is that most of these guys swinging aluminum bats during the year, all year long, and got to get used to swinging the wood bats. And the Chinooks learning curve has been a little shorter. They've done pretty well for themselves. As coming into play today, hitting around 264 as a club. Payoff pitch up high, ball 4 for Johnny Loker, so he'll be aboard. On the 1-out walk from Connor Menez. Of course, base runners haven't been an issue for Menez, at least so far in this ball game. Had a runner picked off with 2 outs in the second. So Johnny Loker off to a pretty big lead over there at first base as J.J. Wagner. Menez with a throw over. J.J. Wagner hitting just 209. He has struck out 10 times already in just the 10 games the Glacier Pilots have played. First pitch to Wagner is outside a bit from Menez, 1-0. 1 out, bottom of inning number 4, still scoreless at Mulcahy Field. 1 hit alone belongs to the Glacier Pilots. Chinooks are still hitless through 4. Menez checking the runner, fires home, inside, blocked by Mogg as it's in the turf at home plate. It is an all-turf infield here at Mulcahy Field with a natural grass outfield. Outfield playing Wagner straight away. That's popped up. First base side. Staudinger might have some room. He's over there, and he makes the catch. And foul ground for out number 2. So the second out for Wagner is a foul out. Now Jack Lebowski at a Duke. First pitch from Menez is outside for a ball. Menez fires home. That's grounded up the middle. Will Bass, as it has it at second base, slings it to Michael Staudinger for the out. And just like that, the beat goes on for the bats here at Mulcahy Field. They've been utterly silent through 4 innings. No score at Mulcahy Field. We'll be right back for the 5th on Chinooks Radio. To the fifth we go. The beat rolls on, and Andrew Mogg to the plate for the Chinooks. Matt Dennis has sat the Chinooks down in order through 4. The big righty fires home to Mogg, and he takes first pitch strike on the inside part of the plate. Matt Dennis went 6 innings of 3-hit ball his first start of the season. And he's start number 2 right here. Moggy swinging there to put the Chinooks up 1-0. It is down 0-2 to begin the at-bat. Matt Dennis through 4 innings, already 6 strikeouts without a hit. That one's rolled towards the shortstop, Kyle Watson. He gobbles it up at short, flings it across the diamond for out number 1. And Andrew Mogg down swinging. So the Chinooks collecting, double-digit base hits for much of this winning streak. Were held to 8 last night. And it's still a pretty significant amount, but nothing through 4 1/3 from Matt Dennis.
13 straight retired, 13 up, 13 down.
First offering to Michael Staudinger is outside for a ball. Staudinger hitting .265, a big part of the Chinooks sweep in Fairbanks last week. Breaking ball from Dennis. The slider hits the inside part of the plate, where Staudinger went 7 of 15 with 5 RBIs in that series. Here's the 1-1 from Dennis. That's ripped up the middle. That's going to be a base hit for Michael Staudinger.
And the baseball gods tell Matt Dennis, not tonight, boss.
He's had a magical game so far, but the first hit allowed off of Matt Dennis comes off the bat of Michael Staudinger. So as soon as I talk him up a little bit, he gets aboard. But Caden Owens now. Owens did pinch hit yesterday. He was kept out of the starting lineup, but came on as a relief player in the 9th inning as he takes the first offering from Matt Dennis in the zone on the outer edge. Owens went 0 for 2, got on base a couple of times, ended up scoring in that 13th inning on the Baronic triple that put the Chinooks over the mark and help them win the ball game with a 6-3 thriller in 13 innings. That pitch is low, makes it even at 1-1 to Caden Owens. Owens, a native of Jinx, Oklahoma, waves his bat with an open stance in the left-handed batter's box, takes that ball upstairs, makes it 2-1.
And I don't know if the picture quality on the camera does it any justice, but it's like a cottonwood snowstorm.
It really does. It's so sunny 66 and flurries in Anchorage today. 2-1 on Caden Owens. Here's the pitch outside, 3-1. Michael Staudinger over there at first base for the Chinooks. Outfield playing Owens shaded towards left field. Center fielder Luke Hamblin might be able to give the shortstop Kyle Watson a high five from the outfield. He's playing so shallow. Might be able to shake hands with the left fielder Wagner. The pitch fouled straight back from Caden Owens. Makes it a full count. Infield is at double play depth. Well, kind of. Carrillo on the cut of where the outfield grass is. Not expecting Owens to pull this one, or if he does, he won't have to worry about turning 2. Here's the payoff pitch from Matt Dennis. Owens swings, rifles it through the hole on the left side of the infield. A base hit for Caden Owens. They didn't expect him to pull it, and he didn't.
So now 2 on, 1 out here.
Chinooks with something going here in that top of the 5th inning. I guess we're beyond the 4th, so they're safe to hit.
13 up, 13 down for Matt Dennis, but 2 for 2 in the most recent. And just like that, your little perfecto outing that he had going there has turned into a little bit of trouble and a threat for the Chinooks to score.
Bringing up Braxton Wilkes Wilkes a strikeout victim, as 6 other Chinooks have been today. Wilkes, the first offering, grounds it up the middle. That's going to get through. The shortstop, Watson, knocks it down, and Staudinger holds at third. So an infield single for Braxton Wilkes. 3 straight hits for the Chinooks, loads the bases for Hunter Hanks.
And Hanks yesterday kind of cooled down from his little miniature hot streak he had going.
Does have 4 RBIs. He waves at the first pitch he sees from Matt Dennis. He also struck out his first time. Hanks was 3 for 5 against the Bucks on Sunday. Last night, wore an 0 for collar. Did have a sacrifice bunt, though. Here's the 0-1. Hits that the other way towards right field. Over there is the right fielder, Johnny Loker. He makes the catch, but tagging and heading home is Michael Staudinger. And the Chinooks have taken the lead 1-0 here in the 5th.
So the first RBI of the night comes off the bat of Hunter Hanks. The sacrifice fly brings in Staudinger. And the Chinooks, the magical, after the 4th inning, things really start to get rolling, Gare.
Yeah, they really do. So 1-0. Both other 2 base runners stay put. But Hunter Hanks, that ball is fouled off by Patrick Cromwell to begin the at-bat against Dennis. 2 outs. Cromwell fouled out or flew out to center field. Hamlin in center field for the Pilots, shading him towards left field again. Johnny Loker playing a shallow right field as well. 0-1. Low in the dirt makes it 1-1. So if Cromwell can get ahead of one, put it in the gap or put it down the line, he could run for a week.
The gap is like as big as the Matsu Valley out there between the center fielder and the right fielder.
Here's the 1-1 upstairs. It gets away from the catcher, Troutwine, and both runners are going to advance on the pass ball.
Just a side note, what a great nickname if you're a catcher. Gunner.
Gunner Troutwine.
Yeah, Gunner. Like, I'm going to gun you down at second base.
Probably should call Tyler Boxwell Gunner after the day he had behind the plate last night as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Throwing out 2 runners at second, another at third, and getting another pickoff over at third.
4 on the day, also drove in a run.
2-1 is the count on Patrick Cromwell. The Chinooks a run home here in the 5th. Have a 1-0 lead over the Glacier Pilots.
And basically anything into the outfield is going to score 2.
Matt Dennis delivers breaking ball outside, 3-1. I would not want to deal with the guy on deck, Cameron Baranek, if I am Matt Dennis, still off that emotional high with the game winner a night ago. Here's the 3-1, and Cromwell bangs it foul to the left side and out of play.
And that goes right into the Chinooks dugout. Bullpen, I should say.
I'll run the count full. The Fish have 3 straight singles to load the bases up, and then a sac fly from Hunter Hanks accounts for our runs here. The payoff pitch, low and away, ball 4. So Patrick Cromwell will dance to first. Bases loaded yet again.
And now, the man of the hour from yesterday at the plate, Cameron Baranek, with the suns out, guns out effort yesterday, the triple in the 13th inning to win the Chinooks their 7th game in a row.
First offering, he takes that one in the zone. First strike of the at-bat against Baranek. Staudinger led this thing off with a 1-out single. Caden Owens, Braxton Wilkes got a couple of hits of their own. And Baranek bangs that ball back to the mound, but Dennis has it. And he will underhand flip to the first baseman, Lebowski, and that'll retire the side. But the Chinooks have moved ahead and taken the lead. And Andrew.
Well, Gary, it's almost unsettling to me. As a student of the game of baseball, just knowing that if at any point the Pilots get on the board here, the Chinooks stranded, the bases loaded. It's a difficult thing to deal with, as a player and as a coach for them. But luckily, the way that Connor Menez has been pitching, perhaps they won't have to worry about that, at least for a while. But I guess you can just take your luck as it comes, Gare, because the Chinooks they looked dead in the water out there for the first 13 batters that went out there and faced Matt Dennis. But then the single by Staudinger, single by Owen, single by Wilkes, the sac fly from Hunter Hanks, and then the pass ball, Cromwell walks, and suddenly you feel like you have something going. But Cam Baronic can't have magic off that bat every single time, I suppose. But if I'm not mistaken, Cam Baronic trying to extend this would be the seventh game if he gets a hit tonight.
Yes, he did it in sixth with a single in the 12th, and then got gravy on top of it with that triple yesterday. But yeah, he's going for a 7-game hitting streak. The first offering to Kyle Watson goes high from Connor Menez. Watson out of Ole Miss. Menez delivers that one down and in. Makes it 2-0. Connor Menez back out for the fifth inning. As Watson hits that one towards the center fielder, Baronic, he runs over there, makes the grab, and that is out number one for the Glacier Pilots in the bottom of the fifth. Connor Menez, as he comes into play today, for as well as he's pitched a 3.18 ERA, he does have an 0-1 record. Looking for his first win of the ABL. Delivers that one low.
Well, Menez really has pitched spectacular, but unfortunately for, I guess, his statistics, it's the only thing you can focus on there, is that the record's not going to reflect it, because in the games that he's pitched, the Chinooks have been kind of late bloomers at the plate.
Mm-hmm. Of course, that one loss came in the second ball game of the regular season against the Matsu Miners. 1-1 is taken again. 1-2 for Gunnar Troutwine.
And the Glacier Pilots haven't been able to muster much at home. They lost 4 in a row to the Matsu Miners here at Mulcahy.
Troutwine takes that one the other way off of the arm of Menez, and that'll sail into the glove of Caden Owens out in right field for the second out of the inning. So Menez, that's the one thing that he's very locked down. Even though he might pitch with a lead sometimes, he pitches like he's down by one instead of up by one half the time. And that really is a good mentality, as that's inside.
Well, with the talent that you have in the Alaskan Baseball League, being up by one is like, you're never really safe.
Exactly. And here's the 1-0. We'll add to that here in a second. That's upstairs 2-0. And, when you're playing with a lead, a lot of guys tend to relax a lot more and, not really attacking hitters. That's inside about hits. Alex Tuccio.
Yeah, chin music there.
And when you start doing that, you leave room for error. It's not saying it's bad to have room for error. That's a tremendous blessing as a pitcher. That's downstairs, and Menez walks Tuccio with 2 outs on 4 pitches. But Menez, at least today, and his last couple of starts as well, has gone out there and really attacked like he doesn't have much room to work with. Like, he better get everybody out, and he pitches that way and has that mentality. And as a quiet guy off the field, goes out there and competes for 27 outs. First offering to Jordan Aboitis is in there.
Yeah, but you're right, Gare. Connor Menez is a competitor, and you see a look of frustration that he's gotten just from those two little blow up innings he's had. Not blow up, but losing a no hitter and kind of setting himself up for in Fairbanks would have been a loss, even though he no hit them through 6 innings, in which was mostly a spectacular pitching performance. But luckily, the Chinooks able to carry in at the end with some late runs in the 8th inning. The RBI double from Tyler Boxwell, his first hit of the season, I believe that was.
Yeah, well, second.
Yeah. Second hit of the season, yeah.
So 1-2 to Jordan Aboitis of Arizona State. I can go on for days about that baseball program. Here's the 1-2, swing and a miss. And actually, they're going to say he got a piece of it, so it'll be fouled off at the plate. First, Artuccio over at first took off awarely, but he'll be back at his post at first base. A little after 8:15 local time here in Anchorage. Sun still high in the sky. Our days will start getting shorter. Summer solstice was on Sunday. And Aboitis grounds this one softly to the shortstop, Hunter Hanks. He comes, fields it cleanly, and throws on to Steininger at first base to retire the side. But we have played 5 full, and the Chinooks and the Glacier Pilots in a 1-0 game owned so far by the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball, and we'll be right back. Top of inning number 6 we go. Chinooks leading 1-0 over the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Matt Ferruto takes ball 1 outside from Matt Dennis. This Glacier Pilots team coming in 4-6 on the year. They're in a tough spot, though, as Ferruto hits that one in the air to center field, and under it is Luke Hamblin to retire Ferruto for the first out in the 6th. The Glacier Pilots at 4-6, very respectable, but
you play the Matsu minors that many times.
I was going to say, well, playing with the minors so much and with the Chinooks with their success so far, this could be a very tough division. Will Bass hits that one off the end of the bat towards shortstop. Kyle Watson flings it over there, and the first baseman, Lebowski, pulled off the bag on the throw. So Will Bass is going to reach on an error on that throw. So the Chinooks with a runner on give that error to the shortstop Kyle Watson. But the Pilots, after they lost to the Chinooks Sunday, June 14th, so that was not last Sunday, but the Sunday before. This is Andrew Mogg at the plate for the Fish, swing and a miss at that one. And it is under the catcher Troutwine, literally right below him, didn't find it, and Will Bass will take second base, I would assume, on a pass ball.
Pass ball, yeah. Now, that's not a wild
or
pitch.
It could
That's
be
a pass
defensive
ball. No, it's not going to be
indifference.
defensive indifference because he didn't
Call it a pass ball.
call it a pass ball.
So 0-1 is the count on Andrew Mogg. Next offering in the turf, blocked by Troutwine. It was literally right where he left it.
And Moggy
But
coming into the day with 5 RBIs, second on the team to Cam Baronic in
Also-
ABL play.
Tied with the league in home runs with a pair. 1-1 the count on Mogg. One gone here in the top of the 6th. Chinooks up 1-0. Mogg hits one in the air, center field, not very deep. Under it is Luke Hamblin. He makes the grab for out number 2. But as I was saying about the Glacier Pilots, at 4-6, their 4 wins. They split a home-and-home series with the Bucks to begin the season, losing to the Chinooks on Sunday the 14th, and then they go to Matsu and take 2 from the Miners. How hard is it to win in the Valley? It is extremely difficult. And then the Miners ripped off 4 straight wins here at Mulcahy Field. Then those 2 teams go back to Matsu, and the Pilots win it. So home has not been really an advantage. Staudinger hits that one to the third baseman. Aboitis, he's up with it and throws out Staudinger to retire the side. So 6.5 or 5.5 officially gone. We're in the middle of the 6th. Chinooks and the Pilots in a 1-0 deadlock in favor of the Chinooks so far. But as we were saying, still a 1-0 ball game, and shadows getting a little longer tonight, as they will each and every night. But with the solstice beyond us, and this is really where the good part of baseball kind of comes in the ABL. You get the excitement of the solstice here in Alaska. It's a big deal. It's a whole celebration, really and truly. Quite the event. Of course, in Fairbanks, they have an entire festival just devoted to it. And around the Midnight Sun Game, the 110th edition, as the Fairbanks Gold Panthers took on the Seattle Studs of the Pacific Independent League, as they're up here for a couple weeks playing ABL teams, mostly the Panthers and the Oilers. But 110 years of the ABL, or of the Midnight Sun Game, that is, the Chinooks had a chance to introduce themselves to a little bit of Alaska baseball history as the Anchorage Museum with an exhibit on baseball in Alaska. The Chinooks visiting that today. Just a really neat exhibit, having the history of between the local Eskimos just playing on the ice to the military playing back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, etc., and then actual organized baseball coming in the 50s and 60s, beginning with the Gold Panthers. As we start the bottom of the 6th inning, this is Luke Hamblin, the leadoff hitter for the Glacier Pilots. Just a very neat exhibit. All 6 current teams with representation in there. There's now 2-0 to Luke Hamblin. The signed contracts by the NBC, National Baseball Congress, that's downstairs 3-0, which kind of pulls together the summer leagues. And, of course, the NBC World Series played every year in the Midwest. And so 3-0 here on Hamblin by Connor Menez. Here's the 3-0. That's downstairs ball 4. So Hamblin aboard with a leadoff walk. But they had the signed contracts of both Barry Bonds and Mark McGuire committing to the Gold Panthers. And also, one of the nicer ones was the uniform of Barry Bonds when he played here for the Glacier Pilots, or not the Glacier Pilots, excuse me, but for the Gold Panthers. A lot of G's in my world to kind of put together between my first name and Gold Panthers, Glacier Pilots. But anyways, with the Gold Panthers, Barry Bonds, that uniform that they have on display looked like a kid's extra large. No way that fits on just the forearm of Barry Bonds anymore. Menez, a quick pickoff throw to Hamblin over at first base. He's back there in time. But very neat to see that. A lot of memorabilia. But if you're in Anchorage, you're in Alaska, and you can get to Anchorage and check that out, or if you're a parent of one of our players and have an opportunity to come visit, I would highly recommend it. It's not a big overwhelming thing, but it's just just a special area in the museum dedicated to baseball in Alaska. Very cool.
It gives you an idea as to how this is so much bigger than just this season, right?
Yeah, absolutely, it really is. It kind of shows how it all comes together, what it means to Alaskans. And for the Chinooks, they have a 1-0 lead over the Glacier Pilots. Here in the bottom of inning number 6, the Glacier Pilots, of course, a very rich history of Major League talent. That's upstairs for a ball to Carrillo.
If any of you have ever heard of a man by the name of Randy Johnson, the big unit.
Randy Johnson, Mark McGuire. McGuire played here his second year in Alaska. Of course, Aaron Boone, Jacoby Ellsbury.
Mike
Pelfrey, of course. Also, Ben Francisco for you Indians fans out there or Phillies fans. 1-1 is the count on Alberto Carrillo.
I hope you're not Phillies fans. That'd be unfortunate.
It wouldn't be too bad. Here's the 1-1 on the ground. Hard to Will Bass. He has it on one hop to Hunter Hanks for one. The relay is in time, a double play. And the Chinooks have now turned their 9th double play of the season.
So you can put that in your books as a 4-6-3 double play.
Johnny Loker back to the dish, striking out and walking. And of course, how can we talk about the exhibit without making the mention that Chris Beck has a picture of himself with the Chinooks in the museum. Just a small little thing, but that's taken on the outer edge by Johnny Loker. It's kind of funny. Had his son Ty, the bat boy for the Chinooks, over there, and he's kind of like, "Hey, look, that's your old man," and that's down in the turf, blocked by Andrew Mogg.
Well,
1-1, and
15.
Chris, Ty kind of made that. He's like, "Yeah, that's pretty cool," but Ty, and then Chris, without missing a beat, kind of like, "Hey, don't you know your old man's old enough to be in a museum?" So 1-1 the count, inside corner, just off the black.
Well, Chris deserves it. I mean, 15 years plus with AIA baseball here in Alaska. He's become a staple of helping this league grow and develop into what it is now, a more central operation than it used to be. And Chris currently, I think, the manager or whatever the highest position in the organization you could be, as they rotate between the general managers of the team. Chris is in the number 1 spot for the league this year.
Yeah, he is it's a rotating between speaking with offices. So he's the league president for the year. So 3 inside, didn't hit the corner. Ball 4 to Johnny Loker. So Connor Menez, he's been, working pretty well, but he does have now 4 walks. But he's been able to get rid of those base runners, either on double plays or pickoffs. Yeah, the general managers between Chris Beck and, of course, Lee Jordan committing a lot of insight for the Chugiak side of it. That's in the air to center field off the bat of J.J. Wagner. And now shallow right center. Caden Owens is under it to make the out, to retire the side. But yeah, Pete Christopher of the Miners, the Dennis family with the Gold Panthers, just tons of history between,
Sean Maltby for the Bucks,
those heads. Yeah, Sean Maltby really doing a lot as well. So with that, we will head to the 7th inning where the Chinooks still have a 1-0 lead. We'll be right back on Chinooks Radio.
And into the 7th inning we go. Andrew Alex alongside Garrett Mansfield here at Mulcahy Field as the Chinooks hold a 1-0 lead over the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. The first batter here in the top of the 7th will be Caden Owens. Owens singled his last time out. The first pitch to Owens almost skims him on the pant leg in there, but taken as Owens gets out of the way of that pitch for an 0-1. Caden Owens, the Oklahoma native, a student athlete at Oral Roberts. The second pitch to Caden Owens, taken outside corners for a strike. So the count is 1-1. Caden Owens, of course, his family, very active on the Twitter account. So to the Owens family, we thank you for your support day in and day out as Caden fouls that ball off to the side by the Chinooks dugout. The count is 1-2. But to all the families, me and Garrett here at Chinooks Radio and the entire Chinooks organization, we love your support and we thank you so much for tuning in, whether it be live or on a delay. The pitch to Owens is lined right past the second baseman, but he makes the grab on the run and tosses it to first for the first out of the inning. So Caden Owens on a grounds out and on an athletic play where the second baseman, Alberto Correa, robs him of what could have been a base hit. And now the batter will be Braxton Wilkes. Braxton Wilkes on the day, 1 for 2. He struck out his first time up, singled back in the 5th. Braxton Wilkes, the pitch. And Braxton bunts that one right back to the first baseman, to the pitcher, the throw to the first baseman in time, just in time. Wow. And the pitcher, Matt Dennis, had to scurry over to get the bunt from Braxton Wilkes. That couldn't have been more than half a second difference between Braxton Wilkes and the catch by the first baseman, Lebowski. So now, with 2 down, Hunter Hanks, the batter. The first pitch to Hanks in there for a called strike 1. Hanks on the day, his first time up, he went down looking. His second time up, a sac fly that produced the only RBI of the game for the Chinooks as they lead by a score of 1-0 here in the top of the 7th. 2 outs. The 1-1 pitch to Hunter Hanks. Waved at, missed, strike 2. The count 1-2. But where would the Chinooks be this season without the stellar fielding of Hunter Hanks? Hanks takes high, ball 2, the count even 2-2. Hanks and Will Bass, the 2 middle infielders, have been a staple of the Chinooks' success in the field throughout this 7-game win streak. And here comes the 2-2. Curveball taken inside. And good patience by Hunter Hanks there, knowing that that was not his pitch. And now a full count here with 2 down, nobody on in the top of the 7th. The pitch to Hanks is popped sky high, foul, and that's going to sail into the stands. So we're going to redo full count all over again. And at home, we would say that foul ball was sponsored to by Gavin Reeve. But, of course, here at Mulcahy, Carls Jr. gets the tag. And Hanks fouls off to about the same spot again. So, Carls Jr. getting their airtime here at Mulcahy Stadium as the count still full, 3-2 on Hunter Hanks. 2 down here in the top of the 7th inning. The pitch. And Hunter grounds that one to the shortstop. Kyle Watson, the throw to first, in time to retire the side. So the Chinooks go down 1-2-3 in the top of the 7th, and it'll be interesting to see who comes out to work the bottom of the 7th inning for the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. And out comes Jordan Vieira, and it looks like some kind of substitution is going to be made. And it looks like Jason Carcetti, the teammate of Connor Menez at the Masters College, the 1 and 2 guys in that rotation. And Karki will try to finish this one out for the Chinooks. So as Karki takes his warm-up pitches, we're going to step aside, but bottom of the 7th inning here. Jason Karkenny coming in to take over this game for the Chinooks in a 1-0 lead as the Fish cling onto this small lead, trying to pick up their 8th consecutive victory. We'll be right back with you. You are listening to Chinooks Radio. And we are back here for the bottom of the 7th. Andrew Alex alongside Garrett Mansfield as the Chinooks lead by a score of 1-0. The new pitcher for the Fish, Jason Karkenny. And the first pitch from Karkenny grounded down the first base line, foul. So the count 0-1 on Jack Lebowski out of Duke University in Durham, North Carolina, the 2015 NCAA basketball champions. The 0-1 pitch to Lebowski swung on and missed. And I was actually at that NCAA final for basketball. Another great day in my life as the Duke Blue Devils, a favorite in my household.
I am so sorry.
The 0-2 pitch taken on the outside. You know, Garrett, not everyone can be happy all the time. That's why not everyone's a Duke fan.
That's true. I'm not.
1-2 to Lebowski. Taken on the outside corner, a called strike 3. So Jason Karkenny's first batter faced of the night is a strikeout, the first out of the inning. 1 up, 1 down for Jason Karkenny. And Jason Karkenny, early this season for the Masters College, pitched a perfect game against San Diego Christian. So now the batter, Kyle Watson, the shortstop out of Ole Miss. The first pitch to Watson, taken outside for a ball. And here comes Karkenny's 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And the count even up at 1-1. And Jason Karkenny, one of a bunch of guys in the Chinooks clubhouse with a great sense of humor, a real funny guy, Karki is. And here comes the 1-1. The appeal to the umpire, he says he went. So now they count 1-2. As Karkenny looks to make quick work of Kyle Watson here. Watson takes low, ball 2. The count evens up at 2-2. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. In there for a called strike 3. So the first 2 batters that Jason Karkenny has faced this evening both go down looking. So now 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Chinooks lead by a score of 1-0.
7 punch-outs for Chinooks pitching so far tonight.
Wow, an impressive outing.
They had 12 last night.
The first pitch to Gunnar Troutwine was fouled back right into the screen.
Even better, 46 through 84 innings pitched as a staff.
Wow. So now that pitch scooped up in the dirt outside by the catcher Andrew Mogg, the Filipino phenom out of Virginia Tech. So the count evens up at 1-1. And the pitch from Karkenny. In there for a called strike 2. So Karkenny ahead in the count again, 1-2. Troutwine on the day, 1 for 2. He singled in the first, flew out to the left in the second. And that pitch taken high And when I say in the second, I meant his second time up. I rephrase. That was a misconstrued way of going about saying that, but Troutwine takes again high, so a full count here on Gunnar Troutwine. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch is taken low, ball 4. So Jason Carkenny allows his first base runner of the game to Gunnar Troutwine. And now he will see Alex Tuccio. Tuccio, the designated hitter out of Siena, the College of weightlifting champion Sean Fitzpatrick. And it looks like actually Alex Tuccio will not be the batter, but instead it will be out of Oregon State, Jack Anderson, the freshman. Anderson listed as an outfielder by trade, but he'll probably be in the designated hitter spot. So Anderson swings and misses at the first pitch. The second pitch to Anderson from Carkenny, taken on the outside, and the Glacier Pilots. Their staff has a sub-2 ERA on the season, but yet still a 4-6 record. That's not something you'll normally see in baseball. And a huge broken bat there from Anderson, but the ground ball goes right to Stardinger. He throws it back to Carkenny for the 3rd out of the inning. So through 7 innings, the Chinooks 1 run on 3 hits, no errors. Lead the Glacier Pilots, who have scored no runs on just 1 hit. And we will be right back with you for the top of the 8th inning. You are listening to Chinooks Radio. And we're back here for the top of the 8th inning of action. Andrew Alex, Garrett Mansfield, as the Chinooks lead 1-0. The new pitcher for the Glacier Pilots will be Jack Lebowski, who is formerly playing at first base out of Duke University. The first pitch to Patrick Cromwell taken low and outside, ball one. And all sorts of pitching, of lineup rearrangements on the part of the Glacier Pilots, and we will get those to you as soon as we truly understand
I think I got them all now.
what they are. Well, if you can explain them, Garrett, be my guest, because I'm still confused as to how this puzzle was rearranged in the Glacier Pilots lineup. The 1-1 pitch to Patrick Cromwell.
Kevin Veers comes on. He's at first base. J.J. Wagner is over at third base, as he was in left field, and then the DH
Anderson.
that was Anderson is out there. So Wagner will stay in as the pitcher, and the DH goes away.
Cromwell grounds that one to the shortstop, the throw to first in time for the first out of the inning. So 1 up, 1 down for Jack Lebowski, the Duke Blue Devil. And now the batter will be Cameron Baronic. Cam Baronic trying to extend his hit streak to 7 games. Cam Baronic wearing number 7. And his hit yesterday helped the Chinooks pick up their 7th straight victory. For what it's worth.
And he wears number 7, so it just all revolves around that right now.
So the first pitch to Cam Baronic taken on the inside, ball 1. And here comes the 1-0. And Baronic fouls that one right into the plate, bounces back towards the fans behind home plate and the screen. So the count evens up at 1-1 here.
Kind of confused me because Kevin Veers, wearing the number 37 right now. And Veers, coming from Fresno State, he was here a year ago. And as a roster substitution for Robert Coleman, who's a junior at Virginia. So he's in Game 3 of the College World Series. He can't exactly be in 2 places at once.
He certainly cannot, Garrett. And Virginia winning the second game of the College World Series today, evening things up with Vanderbilt. And as a student of the great university in Blacksburg, Virginia, the best university in the state of Virginia, in my humble opinion, it's unfortunate to see them win today. But Cam Baronic takes low, the count full here as I rag on UVA in my spare time here on the broadcast. So full count to Cam Baronic. Nobody on, 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. And Baronic grounds that one foul down the first base line. So we're going to do 3-2 all over again, folks. But I mentioned in a previous broadcast, Vanderbilt lost to Lipscomb and Hunter Hanks, and as Cam Baronic fouls that one back. And
You have so many nice universities in Virginia. Come on. Liberty, VCU, George Mason, James Madison,
William and Mary.
Old Dominion.
William and Mary. Old
William
Dominion,
and Mary. That's a
Washington
hometown favorite.
Washington and Lee.
Richmond, Hampton. My goodness.
3-2.
VMI.
Oh, and that's fouled right off the leg. Radford. Not so much on Radford. No, I don't like Radford either. But, yep, Virginia does have a lot of great schools. I have Lynchburg College, Roanoke College. Full count again to Cam Baronic. And that's taken way outside, ball 4. So the Chinooks have their first base runner of the inning in Cam Baronic. So runner on first, 1 out. The batter will be Matt Ferrudo. Matt Ferrudo on the day has flown out to left, flown out to center, and grounded out to second base. The Chinooks mustering up just 3 hits, which is still just 2 more hits than their counterparts on the field. The Anchorage Glacier Pilots have been able to do themselves. The pitch in there for a called strike 1. Cam Baronic takes his lead at first base. Baronic, a speedy fella. Oh, 1. And he's going to ground that one to the shortstop. The throw to second in time. The throw to first not in time. So that'll be a fielder's choice in the scorebook for Matt Ferrudo as Cam Baronic trots off. And now with 2 down, and Matt Ferrudo standing at second. Will Bass will be up. I retract. Matt Ferrudo standing at first base. First pitch of the at-bat to Will Bass is grounded right back to the pitcher. The toss to first in time for the 3rd out. So the Chinooks go down not 1-2-3, but draw just a walk. The only base runner they have there. So in the middle of 8, the score still 1-0 in favor of the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks as they are 6 outs away from their 8th consecutive victory. But that's going to be 6 outs that they are going to have to battle for.
Absolutely. And, what can you say, though? But Matt Dennis is going to be tagged potentially with a tough luck loss. He goes 7 innings of 1 run, just 3 base hits. He walked just 1 batter and struck out 6. And he might be the pitcher of record for the Glacier Pilots, be handed the loss. But Lebowski up there to try to minimize that. And Jason Karkenny out there for the Chinooks to get the old-fashioned 3-inning save.
And that's baseball for you, Garrett. I mean, sometimes you lose a 1-0 decision, and sometimes you can win a 9-5 decision. It's all worth the same in the scorebook. Sometimes 1 run is enough. Sometimes 8 runs just isn't enough. And that's the beauty of the game. But coming out for his 2nd inning of work will be Jason Karkenny. Karkenny struck out 2 his first inning. Got the 3rd guy on a 3-1, walked just 1 batter. And the first batter he will see, Kevin Veers. Veers out of Fresno State University. And the first pitch to Kevin Veers, taken in there for a called strike 1. Second pitch to Veers, taken on the outside, ball 1. So the count evens up at 1 ball, 1 strike. And the 1-1. And that's in the dirt. Skips past Andrew Mogg. Ball 2.
Veers last summer was a .276 hitter with the Glacier Pilots. Hit 6 tanks with 27 RBIs.
And that's taken low there by Kevin Veers. So now the count 3-1. And if you're a Chinooks fan, you don't want to get this leadoff guy on, as that pitch sails in there for a called strike. So the count full now on Kevin Veers. And the full count pitch from Jason Karkenny. And that is outside, ball 4. So Kevin Veers trots to first with a base on balls, and now the batter will be Luke Hamblin. Hamblin on the day, 1 for 3. Grounded out to second, flew out to center, and picked up a single. His most recent time up. And Karkenny with the pickoff move to first, not in time. The pitch, and that is bunted foul. Right off of Luke Hamblin's own leg. Luke Hamblin out of the University of Central Florida, one of a number of University of Central Florida players in the Alaska Baseball League. And speaking of the University of Central Florida, Andrew Mogg's girlfriend is in attendance tonight here at Mulcahy Field, and she also is a student at the University of Central Florida. So
he's from Orlando.
Yeah,
so
he's an Orlando native.
Oh,
So
makes sense.
good for Andrew having the family and friends out here to come out and see him. That's what the Alaska Baseball League is really all about. But the bunt to first base, Karkenny gets it himself, and the throw to first in time. But Veers is going to advance to second on the sacrifice bunt. So the Pilots have a runner on second and 1 out here. The batter will be Abelderto Carrillo. Carrillo 0 for 3 on the day. Grounded out at the pitcher his first time up, went down looking his second time up, and his most recent time up grounded into a 4-6-3 double play, which ended the, well, did not end, but were the first 2 outs for the Pilots in the top of the 6th inning. And out comes Jordan Vieira.
Double barrel action going on in the bullpen. He might be making a change, and he asked for the baseball, and he'll take it.
And Garkeni done for the day. And the new pitcher for the Chinooks. Shane Armstrong, it looks like. And
he's going to ask
as-
to be returned to the dugout. It's going to be Braxton Wilkes.
And Braxton Wilkes coming in. Braxton Wilkes still hasn't allowed an earned run as a pitcher here for the Chinooks so far this season. Most notably, his work against the Anchorage Bucks in Friday's series opener was enough to earn him the title of Chinooks Radio Player of the Game that evening. But I guess you can say Braxton Wilkes is the Alaska Baseball League's leader in ERA through 7 innings of work. He has yet to allow an earned run. But now, as Braxton takes his warm-up pitches and everything gets sorted out on the field, we are going to step off for just a second. We will be back for the rest of the bottom of the 8th inning. Braxton Wilkes, your new pitcher. You are listening to Chinooks Radio. And we are back here, still on the bottom of the 8th, 1 down, and the new pitcher for the Chinooks, Braxton Wilkes. There is a runner standing on second, 1 out here, and the first pitch from Braxton Wilkes taken on the outside, ball 1. The batter for the Glacier Pilots here is Abelderto Carrillo, the second baseman. 0 for 3 on the day. He's grounded into a double play already. And Carrillo fouls that one hard down the first base line. So the count evens up at 1-1. The score 1-0 here from Mulcahy Field. In Anchorage, Alaska, the Chinooks leading the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. The 1-1 pitch. Taken on the outside, just missed the strike zone for a ball. The count 2-1. The Chinooks seeking their 8th consecutive victory here tonight, and are 5 outs away from doing so, but that will not be easy by any stretch of the imagination as Abelderto Carrillo fouls that one down the first base line again. So the count 2-2 here. Braxton Wilkes, your new pitcher. Wilkes still yet to surrender a run in his 7 innings of work. That is earned or otherwise. Wilkes sets, delivers the 2-2. Fouls that one right back to himself. All right. Apologies. The ball was grounded right back to Braxton Wilkes on the mound, but he could not make the grab, so now runners stand at first and second. So the go-ahead run for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots is represented at first base. That'll be charged as an error on the pitcher, Braxton Wilkes. So first and second, one out here. The batter is Johnny Locker. First pitch to Johnny Locker, taken on the outside, ball 1. And what a time this would be to turn another one of those double plays that the Chinooks have seen 9 times already on this young season.
Braxton does have one of those to his credit.
The pitch to Loker. Taken on the outside again, the count 2-0. The Chinooks trying to get Connor Menez his first victory on the season. His record stands at 0-1 so far. The pitch outside again, and now the count is 3-0 to Johnny Loker out of Stanford. Loker has a home run on the season. And if he hit one here, that would not be good for the Chinooks' cause. The pitch, and that is high. So Braxton Wilkes walks Johnny Loker on 4 pitches. And now J.J. Wagner. A deep fly ball away from tying this game up here in the 9th. And pitching coach Chris Beck looks like he's going to come out and have a word with Braxton. Still work going on in the Chinooks bullpen. What I would think to be Shane Armstrong. Veers still stands at now third base. Abelardo Carrillo at second base. And Johnny Loker stands at first. The batter, J.J. Wagner, out of the University of the Pacific on the season. Batting .209, 1 RBI. He has struck out 10 times. And let's see if Braxton Wilkes can work his way out of trouble here. First pitch to J.J. Wagner. Outside, ball 1. And Braxton Wilkes' last outing was very, very, very effective.
Came in with the bases loaded and escaped.
And that one's in there for a called strike. So the count 1-1. Braxton Wilkes out of McLennan Community College, formerly of Kansas State University, looks to find a new home. And that is popped sky high. Hunter Hanks, the shortstop.
Infield fly rule going to be in effect
Infield
here.
fly rule is in effect. So Hunter Hanks makes the grab for the second out of the inning on the infield fly. So now it'll be up to the pitcher, Jack Lebowski, to help his own cause here. Lebowski on the season, batting .118. He has struck out 6 times, and he has walked 3 out of Duke University. So Braxton Wilkes, first pitch to the Blue Devil, in there for a called strike 1.
And actually, Braxton yesterday committing to Abilene Christian.
Oh, so
Abilene.
congratulations to Braxton Wilkes for his commitment. The pitch, and that is fouled back. 0-2. Abilene Christian, a great baseball program, a great Christian school in Texas, I believe.
Yep, in Abilene, Texas. Braxton had a lot of family that attended the school. Of course, the Chinooks sent Thomas Altamont to Abilene Christian a year ago after spending a summer up here.
So congratulations to Braxton Wilson. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and Braxton Wilkes, with the bases loaded, strikes out Jack Lebowski, and we go into the 9th. The Chinooks still lead by a score of 1-0 and are 3 outs away from picking up their 8th consecutive victory. So we're going to step off for a second. Congratulations to Braxton Wilkes on his commitment. You are listening to Chinooks Radio. Into the top of the 9th we go. Andrew Alex, Garrett Mansfield, the first batter for the Fish. Andrew Mogg, the Filipino phenom out of Virginia Tech. Moggy on the day. 0 for 3. The pitch to Mogg, taken on the inside corner. And that's going to be in there for a strike. The pitch to Mogg. And that's fouled back. So Mogg staying alive in this at-bat. The count 1-2. The pitch. Taken on the outside corner for a ball. So correction, now the count is 1-2. The scoreboard for the Pilots incorrect. The pitch. And that skips past the catcher, Gunnar Troutwine. So now the count at 2-2. Andrew Mogg, currently the Alaska Baseball League's Alaska Baseball League's leader in home runs. The pitch, taken on the inside, almost chin music up there for Andrew Mogg. So a full count on the Filipino phenom. The 3-2. And that's fouled off right. Kind of ended up hitting Andrew Mogg in the back. Now, we can remember that yesterday, a very controversial hit by pitch call ended up resulting in the ejection of the Bucks manager. And we're going to do 3-2 again. And Mogg grounds that one to the shortstop. Watson, the throw in time for the first out of the inning. So 1 down here, and the batter will be Michael Staudinger. Staudinger on the day has singled, scored a run, the first run and only run of the game for the Chinooks, as the Chinooks lead 1-0 here in the top of the 9th inning over the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. The first pitch to Michael Staudinger, fouled back into the screen. The count 0-1. Staudinger out of Azusa Pacific. The pitch, and that's grounded to the third baseman. The throw to first will be off the bag So an error on the throw from Wagner at third base will have Michael Staudinger standing at first. And Caden Owens now at the plate, runner on first, so one out here in the top of the ninth inning. The Chinooks lead by a score of 1-0. Owens 1 for 3 on the day. Michael Staudinger takes his lead at first. The pitch, taken on the outside, ball 1. And for the Chinooks, how important is it to get some insurance runs here? Because one swing of the bat could easily end this game. And Owens waves at that one, swing and a miss. The count 1-1. And Braxton Wilkes helping the Chinooks get through the bottom of the 8th after getting themselves into a world of trouble. The pitch, taken on the outside, ball 2. The count 2-1 to Caden Owens. Owens in the 5th inning singled. Ended up being stranded at third base. And if the Chinooks lose this game by somehow, some way, the 5th inning could come back to haunt them. And a hit and run on. The double play is off. The throw to first in time, but now a runner at second base in Michael Staudinger. As they get Owens at first. And now, like you said, Garrett, it's going to be a big spot.
Yeah, a big spot for Braxton Wilkes to help his own cause. Right here, trying to get that much-needed extra run. It'll be interesting to see if they elect to stay with him in the 9th inning.
I would almost guarantee that they will.
Especially with the pitching staff as spent as it is.
And that's fouled off. So the count 0-1. Like you said, Gary, yeah, I mean, there's no Teddy Christie this afternoon. I think I see Jamie Ball warming up in there.
Yeah. Travis Stone threw a couple innings. Shane Armstrong threw a couple innings, even though he warmed up. CJ Lewington, an inning and a third. Yeah, Ikesty would be hot.
Jamie Ball's the only fresh arm. The pitch, taken on the outside, ball 1, evens up the count at 1-1. But if I'm Jordan Vieira, I'm taking Braxton Wilkes all the way home with this one, putting it in the fate of his arm as Wilkes takes in their strike 2. Because Braxton Wilkes' pitching is one of the many things that have been very, very impressive for the Chinooks throughout this 7-game win streak. The 1-2 pitch to Braxton, and that is a fly ball into shallow left field, under it to make the grab. And that will be the 3rd out of the inning. So the Chinooks down in the top of the 9th, but we're going to head into the bottom of the 9th now. And the Chinooks 3 outs away from picking up their 8th straight victory and taking sole possession of first place. We're going to step off for just a moment, and we will be right back. You are listening to Chinooks Radio. Do not go anywhere.
You're on.
To the top of the ninth we go. Andrew, Alex, Garrett, Mansfield. Bottom of the ninth. I retract that. To the bottom of the ninth we are. The first batter, Kyle Watson. The first pitch, and that is bunted down the third base line. Patrick Cromwell in there to make the grab. The third of Michael Staudinger in time for the first out of the inning. And Patrick Cromwell, the California kid, with the impressive charge there on the bunt attempt from Watson to make the first out, and the Chinooks need 2 more to put this one in the record books. And the batter now will be Matt McGarry. Out of Vanderbilt, the freshman. Obviously, McGarry probably redshirted this year as to the fact that he is here and not in Omaha, Nebraska. The first pitch to McGarry. Fly ball, right field. Under it to make the grab is Caden Owens. So 2 up, 2 down, and the Chinooks just 1 out away from victory number 8. Jack Anderson out of Oregon State University. The first pitch from Braxton Wilkes in there for a called strike 1. And the second pitch in there for a called strike 2. So Braxton Wilkes 1 pitch away from ending this here at Mulcahy Field. Wilkes takes his sign from the pitch. Taken on the outside corner for a ball to count 1-2. The pitch fouled back. So the count stays at 1-2. Braxton Wilkes just 1 out away from ending this game. 2 outs. The Chinooks lead by a score of 1-0 in the bottom of the ninth. The batter is Anderson out of Oregon State. The pitch. And Patrick Cromwell makes the grab. Put it in the books. The Chinooks have won their 8th consecutive game. And the magic just does not stop here. And the Chinooks, and I don't even know what to say anymore, winning, I just can't put words to it. Something magical is happening with this team, Garrett. And our Chinooks radio player of the game, I'm going to give it to Connor Menez. Do you agree with that one?
I would give it to Connor as well. And, the only other guy with really much to say is, offensively, only 3 base hits to even talk about today, which is even wilder. 4 base hits on the day, almost more errors in the field than there are base hits, and just a tight ball game the entire time. And even Matt Dennis, what can you say about the start he put together for the Glacier Pilots? 7 innings of 3-hit baseball and 1 earned run, and he was stellar.
But Garrett, it's like we talked about yesterday, right? When one aspect of the Chinooks lineup starts to struggle, another aspect steps up their game to the maximum level. And just like that, the Chinooks with their 8th win on this season. And folks, to put this in perspective, the Chinooks only had 8 wins in the entire 2013 season, only 9 last season. So the Chinooks now stand alone in first place. A little apology to the Matsu Miners who are looking up at us. But, of course, we do not need to apologize because we're going to see the Matsu Miners 2 times this week. But tomorrow we'll see the Anchorage Glacier Pilots once again, but this time at our place, a 7 o'clock start. Should be an interesting one because I believe that the Chinooks coaching staff is going to factor in a 5th starter, and then we face the Matsu Miners on Thursday at our place, and then at Matsu on Friday. So the Chinooks 1 run on 3 hits, 1 error. The Anchorage Glacier Pilots 0 runs on 1 hit, 2 errors. I am Andrew Alex. He is Garrett Mansfield. This is the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks, and they have won 8 games in a row. Thank you for tuning in from the top of the world to wherever you may be listening tonight. Thank you for tuning in. We hope to see you tomorrow in the same place, same time. Have a good night.